Hello, 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 and welcome back, collective. So, I know the last few days have been a bit more, honestly, not needing the cards and just channeling the words as they've been coming through, especially with that Rihanna Complicated song. And now, at time of recording, I believe we have a full moon in Libra about to arrive tomorrow, April 1st, possibly April 2nd. People were saying, depending on your time zone. And so, taking that into account, in addition to the message of the last few days and my prayers and breaths before I came into this reading, because Libras often deal with relationships and connections. That's like one of the key themes and keywords, like legit the what do you call it? The tarot cloth that I read on. Each zodiac sign, like there's the wheel of the zodiac, and each one of them has like a key word. And for Libra specifically, it is relationships. And so what I'm getting, building off of that complicated message, is I keep hearing this word is like, my heart knows better. And here's the thing, it's like your heart always knew better. However, you more consciously are accepting and embracing the knowing of your heart, the knowing of your acquired and applied wisdom, honestly, throughout your life when it comes to various forms of connections and relationships, and essentially growing more courageous and stronger to choose yourself, to let a connection go and or fade, decrease, because it's not serving you. It's not in alignment with the you that this season of your life is calling you to embrace, to embody, and step further into. So I use the words of let go, as well as like decrease, and I forget the other one I just said, but fall back because I'm channeling fast. And I do that because not every relationship, not every connection automatically means we have to cut somebody off, right? Like sometimes we outgrow people or we grow a little bit apart. Our interests change, our personalities evolve, our priorities certainly evolve and change over time. Yet it doesn't always mean like there's bad blood or animosity, right? It's not like everybody that I've fallen out of active and super consistent contact with, it doesn't mean I have like an issue or a problem with them. And it doesn't mean that all of them have a problem with me. At least I certainly hope not. So I want to share that out there too with folks, because what I'm getting with some of this, as well as this full moon energy, give yourself grace too for those of y'all if you're feeling a little bit more tired and slower moving around this time. Like these are timeless messages. Whenever they find you, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Book a personal reading at iamdildivine.com if you want to get your specific tea. However, I feel really guided to say, please be gentle with yourself. Please ground. Please practice deep breathing, guided breath work. If you resonate with that, there's plenty of free content on YouTube. I've been using the Chris Kelly YouTube channel the last several weeks, to be honest, and that's been more than enough for me, in an enjoyable way. And so I feel guided though to specifically name the invitation to grounding, the invitation to be gentler with yourself, and I also feel guided to say, like, please surrender frustration and invite in a bit more kindness and compassion to yourself if you keep feeling like almost frustrated with your energy levels, as well as those of us who may at times have been feeling a bit more frustrated with our bodies and bodily pains and things going on with that. It's like, especially if you have been feeling these pains, but at the same token, you've also still been making healthier choices. You're still trying to work with yourself to achieve relief and change in healthier ways. And Spirit is encouraging, remaining patient and remaining committed to your process while also giving yourself rest breaks. I also feel guided to say, especially when air energy comes through, not all the time does it have to be fast. It really doesn't. Yet sometimes when I personally feel a lot of like airy energies or Aries, I meant to say airy signs, but there goes an Aries energy as well. So that's for you, 444. So I'm going to say air signs as well as maybe an Aries energy is coming through because we are in Aries season. So actually that totally tracks. It is important to take the time to ground and be Be honest and compassionate with yourself and be like, do I need to be going fast right now? Do I need to be moving quickly right now? Am I operating under some form of judgment where I'm judging my pace or pacing and expecting some faster version of myself? And allow yourself to lean in, what do you call it, inquisitively, and say, wait, why am I feeling that way? Why am I seeking to put myself under a certain system of like urgency or under a certain timeline or a certain speed? Is it truly necessary? There may be certain projects and commitments and obligations in your life where, yeah, you do have a very strict timeline. Yet what I'm channeling in this moment is a lot more of this is about for the viewer, for my audience out there, as well as myself, it's how are we allowing ourselves to take our personal, I want to say like especially our personal wellness goals, our personal wellness intentions, and be patient, to be okay with the journey, to really enjoy it, and like, yes, be consistently moving towards your goal or your destination, yet surrender so much of this frustration, like honor it, but as well as surrender a lot of the frustration you may be having about where you're at right now on the page, where your body is at right now on the page, where your energy levels are right now. There's a lot going on. 5 ever. Like, this is the first sign of spring. Like, this is what do we have? The equinox on the 22nd. So we're still in early spring season. And yes, spring brings a lot of growth and we start to see the flowers blossom and bloom, but it's not always as if every single flower blooms and blossoms like day one, March 21st, March 22nd, that sort of gig and gag. So I want you to continue allowing yourself to blossom and unfold at your own, what I want to say, like unique, user-specific, individual pace. And to continue cultivating yourself like your own favorite flower, your own favorite garden, to be loving, to be patient. Because think about a gardener who truly loves what they're doing and is willing to love what they're doing, even if they're newer versus more seasoned, but especially the seasoned ones. They've acquired enough wisdom to be like, while there are general trends about which plants and flowers may bloom and blossom when, and how much care, how much light they need versus space, and maybe indirect light or being out of the light, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. Yet overall, they don't go around yelling at their plants, be like, hurry up, where you at, where you at? They operate in faith that the plant is going to blossom and bloom in its own divine moment and timing. Yet, with that faith, mind you, like I said, they have the faith that the plant is going to bloom and blossom in its own divine timing. And even up until that point, though, they're giving a healthy and appropriate amount of care. And they have to learn it, right, too, especially if you are a newer gardener. So you have to see which flowers maybe need water every day, right? Versus which flowers it's like, oh no, like every 3 days. Otherwise, we're going to drown them out. And I feel as though there's some similar learning and discovery/rediscovery processes happening with various parts of yourself, let alone your overall self. Because, it's like you are a beautiful plant/flower in total, but then in reality, we know we're so multifaceted. So we are really a whole garden of ourselves. And so this is what I'm being guided to invite us to embrace. I feel as though this Libra energy is inviting us to embrace a more like gardener, cultivator type of relationship style. First and foremost with ourselves and what we're going through and what we're feeling, let alone then maybe with others, with external parties. So with this full moon in Libra, especially because so much of it is around relationships and connections, you likely will have some version of socializing and interacting going on. And I want to invite, please take your time, especially like before and after, like interactions of increased significance, all of them in general, but especially increased significance. Take a moment to breathe deeply and ground. Take a moment to land yourself and be fully connected with who you are and how you feel. so that you can show up in fullness in these exchanges. There is, I feel as though there's this opportunity to more fully, and it's really interesting because when I went to go sit down for this channel in reading Spirit, I felt as though it was very slow today. And not as if Spirit doesn't have anything to offer or what have you, because they always do per se. Yet this is more of a slowness and a slowdown because Spirit's not trying to overwhelm you or overload you with a whole bunch of new energy and new content per se, as much as giving you space to digest and process and regulate what you already have going on. And that makes sense because with a full moon, it's not all about like new stuff. It's actually really about processing and reviewing and releasing what we have going on and allowing that to manifest and come up to the surface and not piling too much extra, or really not piling any extra stuff on it. It's not to say that nothing new happens at full moons. However, it's just not as attuned for like newer focuses, newer energies, as much as reviewing what's already going on, allowing it to come into the fullness of fruition. And then from there, we'll make some pivots, edits, and changes. So goddesses, I feel, yeah, well, there we go. We're going to go for the goddess guidance deck to start. For an opening oracle and word. I don't feel like this is going to be a long reading. What is the message for the collective here in this now? Please and thank you, holiest spirit, holiest goddesses, holiest tribe. What can we share with the collective in this now regarding their journey, their rest, their care, this full moon in Libra? Thank you. I live. We have Ostara with fertility. Literally, Ostara is what opens the spring season. It is the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. Done after they just like had me go in all about that new energy. However, it's not invalidating what I just channeled or said or trying to say like, oh, put a new moon on it instead of a full moon. What I'm getting, because remember, I was just saying a lot of this is about slowing down and reviewing and assessing and checking in and then pivoting. So what I'm feeling for a lot of y'all is this may be a time in which you are closing out, there we go, closing out certain cycles, loops, situations, wrapping it up so that you can then launch into the new more freely, more confidently, more fully, as well as more joyfully and excitedly. And I was also channeling in the early part of it too about, giving yourself time and space to rest, giving yourself time and space to also move at your own authentic pace and allow it to be slower if it needs to. Slower and steady, because I keep looking at what I feel like are seeds coming out of her hand that she's giving to the ground. Like the planting and cultivation of the seeds, the fertility of the seeds. And I love that. And I noticed that snake wrapped around her arm for the first time, giving me definitely a healing symbol, healing energy. Leverage this full moon to review and reconnect with what are these projects and initiatives that you are committed to cultivating and fertilizing further. And for a good chunk of y'all, especially because it's with this Libra energy, a lot of this is around collaborations through your connections and relationships. And I feel as though for some of you, yes, it is about decreasing and or pulling back or divesting from certain like previous connections or even some ongoing ones, but that have like you've been guided to like let go of or fall to the background, and giving more capacity and space for the newer projects, the newer collaborations. So we're kind of in this, using this full moon almost as like a review and then decision-making point to assess and kind of like close the loop, maybe engage in some grieving if it's coming up, of what is no more or what we're choosing to let go, what we're choosing to deprioritize, and then focus on what you are raising as a priority. Who are you raising as a priority? Who are the people that you want to run and grow and play with in the weeks in this season? in the weeks ahead in this season of spring right now. Thank you, Spirit. Because even the way I feel such a slow pace, and I know I take breaths during the readings, and I really like to encourage folks to do that because I know sometimes there's so many beautiful readers, and I have plenty of my readings where it's just like flowing, going almost nonstop in a very natural way. Yet I also want to remind folks that it is natural and it's normal to also have slower paces, and it's not problematic and it's not a failure. It's not a shortcoming if you want and need to catch your breath. It is not a failure or a shortcoming if you want or need more time to process. It is not a shortcoming or failure if you're not ready to make a final decision in the same second or moment that somebody else is. And I feel as though I'm channeling this very specifically for some folks who are tuning in, if not all y'all. There is something consistently coming throughout this message where it is like, honor your pace, honor your momentum, honor your timing and your timeline. Even if you are, quote unquote, feeling like you're moving at a slower pace, that doesn't mean that you're not growing. And that certainly doesn't mean that you're barred or banned or blocked from exponential growth. And for a lot of y'all, if you have been doing a lot of work to cultivate and live a life where you're not living under like hustle and grind culture dynamics, where you're not seeking to grind all the time to prove your worth, to make things happen. If you're the person who's been calling it a softer life, an easier life, a more supported life, a life that honors more of your rhythms and cycles, a life that doesn't like seek to burn you out and chew you up and spit you out and make you like disposable and only as good as like your next best thing or your newest, most in vogue concept. If you've been calling all of that in, this ease, this softness, this tenderness, it's also about continuing to make choices and decisions living from that state of being, operating as that person, making the choice and decision of someone who doesn't overly grind or grind at all and grind and hustle. So with that too, that means if you are unlearning and deconditioning and deprogramming, continuing to deprogram and decondition the hustle and grind culture that you may come from or that you may have been operating or working under at any given point in time, Spirit is saying, give yourself compassion and grace and allow yourself to learn how to like this pace, how to enjoy this pace, and how to strengthen your faith and trust in this pace. Because I feel like what this collective is like, yes, you do have faith, you do have trust in the universe. You wouldn't be here and still listening if you didn't. Your faith is growing. Your faith is expanding. And your faith is gaining more comfort with a slower pace. Like your nervous system is becoming more comfortable and confident with the universe in general and source that you work with, let alone with you specifically, and how you're operating without doing too much, without burning yourself out, without forcing crazy paces, without breaks or a nonstop energy, like pressure-driven pressure cooker all the time. It's like, you're like, no, I'm not doing any of that. You're not being unwise or unrealistic in saying, oh, there's never like a quick timeline where we have to move faster. There's never a situation in which we need to react. There's never a situation in which we need to rush. Like, you acknowledge there are times and spaces where like, no, those types of reactions and responses are appropriate and necessary. And that's it. That's what it's about. It's acknowledging like, yes, those times may be appropriate when they're appropriate, but it's not about being all the time. It's not right all the time. It's a case by case basis. And and it's like, you know that logically, and you've believed that logically for quite some time. Yet what's been going on for however you want to define it, whether it's been the last several years, last several months, like you working on your nervous system, you've been taking the time to live a life in which you can really feel it and embody it and allow your cells and DNA to fully accept it, to allow your body to fully accept it and trust it. All right, I feel guided to get another goddess guidance card. Please and thank you, Spirit. Oh, thank you. Siege, quiet time. Take some quiet time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. So thank you so much for this affirmation. So this is very blunt and to the point. I don't need to rephrase what's coming on that card to keep it linked to what I've already been channeling. And to stitch it in though, this is emphasizing for me even why I'm moving so slow, even why there's not like a ton of downloads coming right now. It's because Spirit is like, this is your moment to chill, to reflect, to review, to pause, to restore, rejuvenate, and replenish. Don't push the pedal to the metal right now. I am feeling guidance saying haste makes waste and will burn you out. I feel as though your spirit guides is like, yes, they're acknowledging all the excitement, fresh and new opportunities of the spring season. So many of these things that you've been having, maybe even some initial conversations and discovery calls about and things of that nature. And Spirit's like, yes, like continue to honor that, enjoy that, cultivate that. Yet also remember, you're exploring these possibilities, these new deals, these new configurations, these new systems, ways of being, collaboration, to be living your best life, to be living a life that allows you to live healthily. And your wellness requires rest. Your wellness honors your nervous system. Your wellness doesn't keep you in a messed up or effed up state of stress, passing it off as like celebratory or laudable productivity. It's like, nah. My creativity and productivity is coming from a fuller and like an increasingly more full cup, an increasingly fuller cup. So whenever this message finds you, engage in cup-filling activities, cup-filling experiences, rejuvenating experiences. I'm getting for some of y'all, journal, write down, list some of the things you're looking forward to in the season ahead. And also for some of you, even give yourself space to journal or reflect upon what you are releasing or what you're not carrying forward in this season so that you embrace it even more fully as a fresh step and a fresh start. We're going to get some tarot cards. Bring it down to earth. Please and thank you, Spirit. Yeah, I just feel guided to breathe deeply and enjoy some nourishing stillness. We have the Queen of Swords, Queen of Michael popping out first. You know exactly what to do, the benefit of experience, a time for your career rather than your relationships. I'm going to narrate this though because, you know, we can't take every single one of those stock sentences of the card. It's about the reading and being specific. Ace of Gabriel, Ace of Wands, a gift of passion, opportunity, and inspiration. The chance to do something amazing. A sense of wonder. Then we have Strength with Holy Ariel. Strength and grace through kindness, self-confidence and forgiveness. And then we have the Eight of Wands with Gabriel. A great deal of activity, sudden and immediate result, important communication. With the bottom of the deck being the Six of Swords or the Six of Michael. Moving on to calmer waters. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. Breathe a sigh of relief and make new plans. Relocation or travel. What I'm getting with the Six of Michael is really emphasizing the peace. That is a big message, is like honoring your peace and allowing things to move more smoothly, slowly, and steadily. If you have a natural, steady momentum that's a little bit faster and it feels good and it's not burning you out, then honor that pace. I'm not here to make you arbitrarily slow. I'm not here to pull you back from something that feels natural and good and flow. If it's in alignment, honor it. This is why it's take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Honor your discernment. What I am getting though for some of y'all, or a lot of y'all with this message throughout, has been like taking the time to breathe and review things. With this Queen of Swords, I'm getting with her, the scene, as soon as the card fell out on the table, to be honest, it's like I got a vision or invitation of practicing breath work and engaging in breath work. Excuse me. And then after some breath work, whether you want to do it through meditative or just taking some time to be pensive and thoughtful, is reviewing the projects, reviewing the collaborations, reviewing the fresh seeds that you feel guided to grow, nurture, and cultivate and nourish in this now and in this season ahead. So it's starting with a breathwork ritual to, well, yes, recalibrate our nervous system to fill us up literally with fresh life force energy and connection with spirit in a way that activates and nourishes all of our cells and DNA. It can help also relax us, or at least, and bring us into a state of, I'm getting like, awareness and alertness, yet from like from a stable place, from a non-anxiety place, from a non-stress place. It's like being alive, awake, alert, feeling good, not alive, awake, alert as in like reactive or scared. You know what I'm saying? Like this is this like healthy, conscious, present energy, present action. It's like basically if you had a good day of rest, you woke up and you feel ready for the day. Spirit wants you kind of to arrive at this review and looking at things from that sort of space. And I love how I just like even did that with my eyes. So like definitely take some rest, get some good sleep, take a nap. And then as you're reviewing these things, it's like review the opportunities, review the things that light you up, review the creative projects, initiatives, and opportunities that stir up passion and trigger that sense of soul energy, soul activation, soul knowing, soul purpose, soul alignment. Because essentially you have things to be working on and working with, and you have all the magic to do it. You have the magic, the brilliance, the wisdom, the logic. It's more so about then cultivating your strength and your personal power. Standing and believing in that, standing in your sovereignty. I really enjoy this. Just having me savor it for a moment. Yeah, this is about moving forward and doing what you feel called to do. So being strong enough and powerful enough to, yes, review and analyze things as well as make decisions and choices. Being a powerful leader and decision maker and honoring that. Yeah, I am getting through with this one is doing so without feeling like you have to rush off and pounce and attack like from a place of insecurity or scarcity, not at all. And it's like, as you stand in your power and you focus on what you want and what's calling you and like the project that you feel called to like birth or work on further, the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Gabriel I'm getting is like the further communication and offers are going to be incoming. Now, remember, communication and correspondence goes in both ways, if not multiple ways, depending on how many parties are involved. So yes, take your quiet time to rest and recharge. I'm not wanting you to react and respond from false urgency. Yet I am being guided with this Eight of Wands, Eight of Gabriel. It's like, remember, communication is key. And it's important that you do reply and respond to things. And I'm feeling like being open and receptive to offers and opportunities like you already are, and there are things to focus on, yet I really do feel more incoming. I feel a greater alignment with soul tribe, soul family, chosen family, reaching new heights, new layers and levels in this season, in the weeks ahead. Yet all of that still requires you standing in your leadership, standing in your fullness and your firmness, and making sure you're communicating as the most authentic, empowered, and confident version of you. And this mentions kindness. This mentions grace. Okay, so this doesn't mean when we're being strong in our own self-love and knowing who we are, that we have to be like gruff or rough and how we present that or share that, communicate it with others. It's like, move with nobility is what I'm getting. Move with kindness and confidence. Those are not mutually exclusive. And as you stand in your confidence, that's going to bring in more and more of your aligned soul tribe, yes. However, also, it's like, Spirit is highlighting, it's like, you deserve and you need to be in your fullness, in this full power and full strength and willing to communicate, because each one of y'all, each one of these collaborators, each one of these partners, each one of these members of the chosen family soul tribe that you're coming into greater alignment with and collaboration with. And I said work, so there we go. It's important that you are willing to communicate fully. It is important that all of y'all are willing to share your perspectives and what is coming through so that you co-create the most optimal, the most like successful, the most effective, the most efficient service, product, action, initiative, like whatever the outcome, thank you, intended outcome. It's like spirit needs you showing up in the fullness of who and what you are. Same thing for your soul tribe members. And then y'all need to be willing to communicate. You need to be willing to express yourselves. And if you need to take a pause and take a step back to gain your own personal clarity, do that. Breathe, and then step back into the circle, step back into the group, and share from that place and that space. So communication, leadership, review. Yeah, that's what's coming through right now. All right, let's get a message from the angels, please and thank you, Spirit. I feel like we need one more card. 1 to 2 more cards, please and thank you, and then let's land this ship. One more big shuffle. And I really do feel guided to say it's like for a lot of y'all, it's like really give yourself grace. If there's some days you're noticing where maybe you had a bigger, I don't know, like your task list, you thought you were going to do more, and then you find yourself maybe doing 1 or 2 things that day. I'm just making this up arbitrarily, but let's say you had a list of 5 tasks that you felt like, oh, I could do this in a day. Like I could do this without like doing too much. And then the day comes and you find like energetically, it's like you get through 2 and that's just like what you have. Honor yourself. Please honor that and don't judge yourself. The fact that you even showed up is amazing. The fact that you made progress is amazing. The fact that you got 1 task done is amazing, let alone 2. There's, like, I want you to be really, really gentle with yourself and about your energy and about the expectations you have when it comes to how much you create and produce in any given day. And I almost said afternoon, so that may be specific for somebody. All right, please and thank you, angels. That felt like a great shuffle. Thank you. This popped right on the strength card. And what did I say? That work word came out. And now I have Celeste. A happy move to a new home or place of employment is in the works. This movement will usher in positive new energy. And now remember, 6 of Michael, 6 of Swords, bottom of the tarot deck also talks about relocation or travel incoming. So remember, this is a general collective reading. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If you want personal, IamDillDivine.com. Links are in the description box. Would be honored to serve you. With all that invitation out there, basically, you know, honey, you know yourself. Listen to yourself. Listen to your intuition. And if you don't know yet, it's going to be revealed quite soon come. I do feel very strong travel vibes with the 6 of Michael and the 8 of Wands. Like travel in general, a trip. So it may not be a permanent move. For some of you, yes, you are going to be having a permanent move coming in soon. Yet for what I'm getting with this reading and this collective, though, is I'm feeling a bit more... I'm feeling more travel. I'm feeling more networking. I'm feeling more work and or passion, like service, labor-related movement, labor-related content. Of course, that impacts the home and the home life. Yeah, I'm feeling it's more about like this collaboration and your labor and your service and what you're here to co-create and co-produce. One more, please, and thank you. I love it. Bethany, when you take excellent care of yourself, everybody benefits. Give yourself a relaxing treat today, such as a massage, sea salt bath, or pedicure. And then we have Seraphina. I am the angel of families. A happy change or addition is coming to your family. Now, for some of you, this may mean, okay, yay, like new family members coming into the fold, whether that's roommates, babies, adoptions, like beautiful expansions in that regard. Yeah, I know that's not everyone's tea. What I get with this one, when I see the Seraphina, the angel of families, this is also, I look at this card and I often feel and see like an ancestor presence or an elder presence, like above her head, like up there. Where is it? There we go. That's kind of how I often feel that. So what I'm getting, honestly, is storyline is like what I was channeling from the beginning. Take care of yourself, to rest, rejuvenate, restore, fill your cup. Please do not burn yourself out. Please do not overextend yourself. Please do not ignore your capacity. And be gentle if you feel like your capacity is needing even more water, food, time, and rest. And also the investments you make in yourself. Remember how I was saying even earlier, thank you, Spirit, bringing it back around. It's like you want to be living the soft life. You want to be living your best life. You want to be doing what's the tea, giving up the grind and the hustle. Then invest. Take the time. Care for yourself. Relax. Check out to check in. And then you'll tap back in from a full cup. Going is not the move, especially not right now, especially under this full moon. Seraphina is letting me know your ancestors. I'm feeling a lot of grandparent spirits. I'm feeling my grandfather personally a lot of grandfather energy. I know I often get a lot of divine feminine grandmothers normally when I channel. However, I am feeling this card is letting me know there's a lot of divine masculine elder protection as well, which is letting me know and then this is why it's like, it's Bethany, Seraphina, and then the Celeste card that I have is like, what I'm feeling is like your ancestors and your guides, this angel of families, it's like wanting to let you know that, hey, it is safe for you to rest. It is not only recommended, it is safe for you to rest. Things are working out. You're not going to be kicked out. You're not going to be immediately evicted. I need you to let go of this guilt and shame mechanism, program, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo, that's been insidiously like trying to stay latched onto you. It's not really latched onto you, but it's trying to stick on. That basically tries to keep you afraid and in such, or at least in such anxiety, so that you don't rest, so that you don't invest in yourself, so that you don't engage in the self-care. It'll do it in a variety of ways. It'll trigger fears of poverty. It'll trigger unworthiness, a whole bunch of those like lower vibrational energies and entities that seek to hold us back or keep us where we're at, or take us lower. This Seraphina angel and angel of enemy. Ooh, I'm gonna say angel of families, but angel of enemies coming through. I just felt something. Ooh, interesting. Ooh, they don't want me to, okay. Your spirit guides want me to channel this, but whoever that else was didn't want me to. Now, you don't need to be worried. This is not to get us hyper-focusing on other people, enemies, haters, giving them energy, all the rah-rah, like, nah. However, it's acknowledging, though, that there may be some, and this song has been coming up, the Mary J. Blige song for weeks, like the hateration and the dancery. There may be some hateration and some danceries around you, but it's not really going to touch you. It's not going to phase you. Spirit is saying is like, you keep singing your song, doing your dance, doing you, what you're called to do, and trust that you are protected, safe, and fine. And not only are you fine, like in the sense of like baseline where you're at is being protected and maintained, you're, there we go, leveling up. You're having some progress baseline on the home level, the employment/service layer and level, maybe a combination, travel and trips and expansion. And when people travel and you're really open to the experience, travel often brings exponential growth because it brings our nervous system and our whole entire being into new spaces like that are not familiar, not common. So we need to be open to our intuition, our discernment even more. We rely and embrace it more, honestly, because we're not on autopilot. We're not just doing the same routines that we kind of like take for granted and have been more wired into like the degular, I want to say like operative mind versus like maybe the more intuitively guided and aligned space. That's not saying that's bad. Like we're meant to experience like routines and a sense of normalcy as well. Like we deserve that. Like there are such things as like good normalcy. It's like knowing that you're waking up in a home that you love every day is a good and great thing. Like we don't need to complain about that. Yeah, what I'm saying though is like when we go and travel and we're in a totally new environment, it's just like this openness of freshness that opens us up to blessings, opens us up to new ideas, new connections, new opportunities. So especially for those of you, if you're having a travel where maybe it doesn't even seem like it's super quote unquote career related or looking for a new home or something, it's still going to bring in fresh blessings and new opportunities, space for growth in many shapes and forms is what I'm getting. So Seraphina is saying trust that the foundation is maintained, trust that the resources you need to have the bills paid are incoming and flowing, in addition to especially if they've already been dropped already. It's like trust in that and leverage those resources, leverage those opportunities, and don't And I am getting, and thank you, Spirit. Please don't feel, with a lot of the blessings and wealth that's coming in. Okay, I'm going to, thank you, Spirit. They're guiding me to just share this with y'all, especially with fellow people where it's like, yes, you have bills, you're paying things off, you're paying things down, and that is important. And Spirit wants you to continue making, especially if you have been a borrower in any way, shape, or form, Spirit wants you to continue doing what you can to pay that off and liberate yourself so that you're no longer a borrower and you're moving more into like the energy of being the lender. Not to say that you need to be lending things out, but being in the position of the lender where you have the resources that you could lend. You still have all the discernment and ability to say like, nah, I'm not doing that. But Spirit is like elevating you that way, right? So I want to honor that, yet what Spirit is saying is like, please don't focus on all giving out all of your incoming funds and resources as they reach you, like giving it all out to everyone. Like what I'm being reminded of, oh, thank you. My voice went up. But what I'm being reminded of, and they're showing me a card from a different deck, pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. So yes, that may mean honoring the fact that you want to be liberated and no longer a borrower. However, also, have you been having pains? Have you been having some health concerns? Have you been needing certain vitamins, supplements? Do you need a massage or a body work or energy calibration appointment? Would you highly benefit from a reading or some form of coaching, counseling, advising, whether that's like on the mental health end of the spectrum, or maybe you want to approach something from a spiritual wellness perspective or what have you, or maybe a combination, finding somebody who does that or a team that does both. You know what I mean? Like what I'm getting from Spirit is, yes, while it is important to honor responsibilities and external responsibilities and things of that nature, they don't want you to keep playing into it's a yes, this is about shifting habits and practices, but it's also about the mindset and the energy set that governs the habits and practices. And Spirit wants you more and more in the mindset of that empowered leader who pays themselves first. It's like, no matter what, you're paying things down. You're like clearing the debt, so to speak. You're making yourself free. But why? Like, let's say I'm just going to use the massage example from Bethany because it really is the easiest. Let's say you have this really like deep tension and knots, and you've gotten like a good incoming payment that came in where you can make a big payment towards responsibilities. However, and you could still make great progress, yet you also could use some of that money to go and get that massage and get rid of the tension versus using all of it, yes, to get rid of the biggest payment towards the debt, but then you're sitting here like can't turn your neck, can't move, and you're inadequate and you're in like major pain that may then block you from being able to accept, let alone deliver on the next opportunity that would bring you more wealth and more resources. And had you gotten that massage and invested in your health, invested in your care, not only would you have felt amazing in that present moment, and not only would you still have made a major payment towards the debt, you also then would be in a place to receive that next opportunity, which would give you more resources to continue paying down the debt in addition to taking care of yourself. So basically, it's like, no matter what, if you're honoring your debts and obligations, why not do so from a full cup? Why not do so from feeling good? Why not do so from feeling cared for and healthy? There's something about where you are elevating and leveled up out of guilt and shame and grind mentality and unworthiness that made you feel bad for feeling good. That makes you feel like you're not allowed to feel good until you get rid of everything with everyone else or clear everything out. It's like until all of the debts and all the O's are gone, it's like, oh no, you need to be showcasing struggle and grinding and strife. And it's like, no, bump that. That is not healthy and that's not even sustainable and it's not realistic. I'm not saying that sometimes when we have done that or when we do that in lives, we don't actually succeed in paying the person back or getting things done or whatever. It can happen. However, it's a very tough and arduous and painful route. And there are times where it's like, as long as you're still honoring the overall terms and conditions of the agreement, you got to allow yourself to do you. And I just feel like they got really silent. It was like mic drop. It's like you still deserve to do you while also honoring all your other obligations and commitments. And Spirit has brought you resources and support, let alone the mindset and mentality to be able to do that. So my Queen of Swords energy in this moment, remember, breathe, engage in that breath work, assess and review, and then make decisions accordingly that honor you in addition to honoring others. It's not about this either or. I love how he's just looking over there. That's so funny. I really feel like that is the message. So comment down below with what, if anything, is resonating with you. Let me know that this is your message. As always, I am Dill Divine, your friendly neighborhood queer muse, oracle, and soul guide. If you want a personal reading, I am dilldivine.com. That's Dill with one L. And then divine, like divine in the sky. It's on my profile. Derp. And then you could also check the links if you just want to click something you don't have to type. Either way, happy full moon in Libra. Happy full moon in Libra energy whenever this timeless reading finds you. And go engage in that self-care. And I feel guided to say this, like, this is why I'm not trying to drag this out, but Spirit saying is like, do something really good for you. And do not feel guilty. Do not shame yourself. I want you to do that activity or receive that activity with the fullness. And after it ends, I want you to continue being grateful and feeling good, like celebrate it, embody it. Thank the universe. Thank yourself. Please recognize and thank yourself in addition to the universe for making the decision and the resources and going for it. And I want you to track. I really want you to track in the week or weeks ahead. I'm getting like a 1 to 2 week period. It's like I feel as though do something really nourishing for yourself and or investing in yourself. And it's not just one thing, but I'm giving you an example. At least do one intentional thing and do what it takes to not feel guilty or shameful about it. And watch what comes into your life in a week or two in regards to blessings. And not only notice the blessings coming in, notice how the way in which you're able to receive and embrace them and enjoy them because you engaged in that caring investment of yourself. That is what Spirit wants me to emphasize. Clock it. Clock your own personal tea. All right, I'm sending you all love, hugs, and gratitude. And I'm going to get ready to upload this, and I will talk to y'all soon. Meow.